oh man, did I miss you? Did I miss you, man? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we back with the Mr. Nightmare. You know, we bumming, you know, we coming, man. You know what I mean? But nah, though, man, what's good, YouTube, man? This your boy, man. Do I look good, y'all? Y'all look good. Dang, why you said no? Why you say no? Dang, why you look like that? You know what I'm saying? I know I'm looking a little rough right now. You know, haircut coming soon. You know, shape up coming soon or something. You know, your boy just be grinding or something, so I don't be having time or something. You know what I'm saying? But your boy gonna get back on track. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. We got 3 scary, true, remote places, horror stories. And you know, one thing about me, I'm a very private person. You know, very private person. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want that many neighbors. You know, one thing I like about the neighborhood that I live in now is that I'm deep in the neighborhood. I still have neighbors for Sholioli. You know what I'm saying? But I'm deep in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, you know, you're not going to just know where I live. You just got to come deep. You know what I mean? But I'd rather be deeper, like in my neighborhood. I'd rather be like deeper. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when I get rich and when I get, you know what I'm saying, I get the money that God blessed me with, you feel me? I'm going to want to be remote, but I ain't going to want to be remote, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, it's something peaceful about remote places, but it's actually something scary about remote places too. You know what I'm saying? Like if something was to happen to me, I want some neighbors to be around. You know what I'm saying? If something was to go down, I want some neighbors to be around. Cause sometimes having neighbors, bro, save you from a robbery, save you from some crazy stuff going down. You know what I'm saying? So just having that right there. So having neighbors, cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you in the suburbs like me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the roundabout be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Just it be quiet. It like I be out here by myself. You feel me? Like the roundabout be quiet. Nobody be outside. You know, got a little porch, a little deck. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't mind having neighbors. I ain't gonna lie to you, I wouldn't mind having neighbors at all. But yeah, man, for all my new subscribers and for all my new viewers, if y'all do want to go look at all of my scary reactions, it is in the scary reaction playlist section. You know what I'm saying? Over yonder. So make sure y'all tune in, man. Thumbnail time. You feel me? Like, what the? It's just living out in the remote area.
Back in high school, my friends and I had a hangout spot like no other. It was this baseball field behind the abandoned grade school. We always thought that we'd get there one day and there'd be a construction crew plowing the whole place down, but they never came. At least not when we were kids. We all thought it was because our town was just too damn poor to do it, which is probably true, but it's not like it's a good real estate location either. It was built right along the woods, far away from most of the town. It was essentially in the middle of nowhere, just like the rest of our town. The reason we enjoyed going there so much was because no one else did. People would occasionally break into the school and do a little graffiti here and there. Sometimes the cops would show up, but they never came to the baseball field. It was a safe haven for the friend group, and that was really important because a lot of my friends didn't exactly have the best home lives, especially one of them, Tim. His mom would always call the cops on him for whatever reason she could possibly conjure up that day.
Just don't be understanding like parents though. Like it's like when I become a parent, like it's like I'm gonna try to be like the best, like like I want my like. See, parents love talking about, you know, like I used to hear that a lot growing up. I ain't gonna lie. I wish my parents my pops used to say it mostly. You know what I'm saying? My mom never used to say it about how they don't need me. You know what I'm saying? Like how he don't need me. He used to say that a lot. I don't need you for nothing. You gotta understand, when you get old, who you gonna call? Okay, yeah, we need you, bro. You're our parents. I don't know why some parents be thinking that you need like an award for being a parent. That's what you're supposed to do. If you don't do it, then you're a deadbeat. But none of us asked to be here. I'm not finna look at it like, I'm not finna look at like what I'm doing for my kids like it's like something like you be having grown adults that want like validation over doing grown adult things. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me. You're not finna get no award, have the best parent of the year, you know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, having the hot food or not. Bro, you're supposed to take care of your kids, bro. You're supposed to handle them responsibilities as a parent, bro. You know what I mean? So of course we need you. You know what I'm saying? But when you get older and older, guess what? It flips, boy. It flips. We needed you in our youth. You're going to need us when you're old. So the way you treat your, and my mom is a nurse, you know what I'm saying? So she tell me about a lot of stories where, you know, freaking, you know, some parents have all their kids there. Some parents don't have no kids there by their deathbed. You know what I mean? But you don't want your kids not to like you. You don't want to have nobody when you're old because you just mean. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of parents out here too that treat other people's kids better than their kids. It don't make sense to me. You treat people outside your house better than you treat your kids. If anything, you're supposed to be treating your kids better than people outside. But these parents nowadays, these days, treat strangers better than their own kids. You mean to your kid, but you nice to. You know what I'm saying? I vow myself not to be that parent. I just vow myself. One thing that my dad used to do that I used to hate too. Used to always compare me to other people's kids. But I do not care what Timothy doing. I don't care what he doing, bro. This is my life. Talking about, oh yeah, Timothy doing it. I don't care, gang. It's another thing that parents do. Love trying to compare other people's kids to them. Like, bro, nobody cares what Timothy doing. He used to love bringing up Timothy. I'm like, bro, I don't care, gang. I don't care, bro, in the military. I don't care. This is my life. Bro used to always want me to go to the military, bro. A lot of y'all parents got to understand this is your kid's life. This is not your life, bro. Not finna tell me what to do with my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Them old school parents used to tell them what to do with their life. It'd be crazy. Like, parents be thinking, like, you could tell me what to do with my life. A lot of kids that's doing things to make their parents happy. Are you happy, bro? You going to college for you or for them? You doing this because of you or for them? I made a promise to myself. I'm going to do what I want for me. Forget what he talking about. Forget what she talking about. Because this is my life at the end of the day. This ain't yours, bro. I'm going to do what makes me happy, not what makes you happy. You know, I'm just learning a lot of things. But I know I'm learning what to do and what not to do to my kids, man. You know, what he want to be, what she want to be. That's what he and she want to, it's their life, man.
Yet when we were at the field, there was nothing they could do.
Some of y'all parents be pissing me off.
We spent a lot of summer nights sitting along the rusted out bleachers, smoking and talking about God knows what to pass the time. I loved that place. We all did. Although, even before it happened, there was this one thing that always creeped me out about the place. There was an old lamplight right along the bleachers that somehow still worked. The town must have forgotten about that too. It was one of those lights that emitted an orange hue, and since it was the only light there, we'd be shrouded in it. It didn't really light up a whole lot either. Whenever I'd get too high, I'd look off into the surrounding woods that was masked in pure darkness. I'd think about how someone or something could easily see us, and we'd have no idea.
Oh, you one of them paranoid smokers. Oh, God. When I used to smoke, when I used to puff on a little wood or something, that's why when I used to smoke alone. I ain't got time for no paranoid smokers. Them used to be the worst. Know what I mean? I'm so glad I don't smoke no more. Y'all, you're sober. Know what I mean? Congratulations, Jay. You feel me? Now I feel good. Year and a half sober, man. Know what I mean? Never going back. Feel me? But when I used to smoke, man, I don't want to smoke around no paranoid smokers and all that. You feel me?
It'd really get on my nerves, but then eventually someone would tell a joke or get my attention, and I'd forget about that thought. For a little bit at least. I wonder how many times they watched us. I'll never know. During the beginning of summer, one night my friend Johnny and I were going up to the field. I must have left before he did, because by the time I got there, his car was nowhere to be seen. I decided to get a head start and go off to the field alone. This was pretty frowned upon in our group. Even though we all liked to think we were tough, walking through a bit of woods alone at night wasn't in our repertoire.
What you doing?
I always kind of enjoyed the thrill, though. I went on past the school and through the woods to reach the field. I waited another 10 minutes or so, but he hadn't shown up, so I started to smoke. Another 30 minutes passed and nothing. At this point, the thrill had worn off completely. I decided to walk back to my car. I ended up jogging because of how uncomfortable I felt. I texted him a couple of times, yet he never answered. So I spent another 10 minutes in my car and then just drove home.
No cap.
When I woke up, I saw that he never texted back. I was a little pissed off, but I didn't think much of it. Until later in the day, when my mom asked me if I'd seen Johnny recently. I hit up all our friends, but they knew as much as me. The last time we all saw him was when we were at the field 2 nights ago. A day passed, then another. Soon enough, everyone in town knew. Search parties started running rampant.
Oh, shoot.
My friends and I even went on a few ourselves.
Johnny missing.
But we never found him. No one did. To this day, the body was never recovered. At the time, I tried to make myself believe that he simply ran away. He was an adventurous kid. He'd talk about wanting to travel the world all the time. How this town made him feel claustrophobic. But deep down, I knew that he wouldn't leave like that. He would have at least left us a note. Probably on the bleachers where no one else would find it. After about a month, I went back to the field. This time, I went alone. I was so angry at the world that I didn't care if I got mauled by some sort of animals lingering in the woods. But just as I got to the end of the woods path, I noticed there were people on the bleachers. For a second, I thought it was just my friends, considering we had never seen anyone else there before. But they weren't. I never saw these people before in my life. 3 of them were on the bleachers, sitting completely motionless. They looked like statues, but they weren't the ones that creeped me out. There was another. He was dancing and skipping around. It made me uncomfortable at how happy he was, but it wasn't an ordinary type of happiness. At the time, I figured he must have been on Molly. Now I just think he's a damn psycho. Worst of all, he looked familiar. I couldn't pinpoint him though. It's like seeing an unfamiliar face in a dream. I knew that I had seen him before, but I just had no idea where.
I know that feeling.
I couldn't handle it. It was just so damn strange. So I tried to get out of there as quietly and quickly as I could. Luckily, they didn't follow. At least, I don't think they did. When I got back to my car, my first thought was to hightail it out of there, but I didn't follow that instinct. Instead, I drove around the school lot. In the back corner of the parking lot, I saw a car.
Johnny?
I knew the model. It was the same one Johnny drove. But as I spotted it, the lights turned on. I abruptly reversed and got the hell out of there. As summer went on, I couldn't get them out of my head. I told all of my friends about it, and they agreed it was weird, but they didn't think much of it. I even stopped going to the field because of them. On a late July day, I was feeling pretty nostalgic and sad thinking about Johnny. I decided to look at the yearbook to catch up on some memories.
So your friend died, gang. So the people that was skipping around, the people that was on the bleachers, they killed your friend, gang. Gotta get back. Gotta get back for Johnny, eh? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you. That's just it's not the man I am today. I honestly, I just couldn't do it. You know, it's just, yeah, that's not the man yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, no getting back for Johnny, man. No getting back for Johnny. No, I can't. One thing that this man told me on Twitch, he said, you know, can't do evil with evil. You just gotta let God handle it, man. You know, so it's just gonna be sad what happened to Johnny, man. You know what I'm saying? Real sad, you feel me? But man, like, dang, you just seen Johnny car. It's like, dang, that's some creepy-ish, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Some real creepy-ish, man. I don't be feeling good. Like, I don't like places that's just too quiet. Like, I love privacy, bro, but I don't like just being too, you feel me? Like, too private, you know? Like, yeah.
That's when I found him. One of the janitors was in the background of a sports picture. As soon as I turned the page, I knew it was him. Same face and hair. It was the dancing man. It had to be. I couldn't believe it. I told all my friends about it, but they didn't know what to do. Eventually, I went to the cops.
Yeah, go to the cops,
bro. Pretty sure they thought I was crazy, but they still did do a background check on the guy. At least that's what they told me. They couldn't find a thing. Even his social security card didn't lead anywhere. I attempted to do some research myself, but I couldn't find a thing. The man was a damn ghost. Near the end of the summer, I went back to the field with a few of my friends. I couldn't get the feeling that I was being watched out of my head. Every time I looked into the abyss of the woods, I felt afraid. I longed for the feeling that I once had there, but I knew it wasn't coming back. This place was no longer a home to me. When I left that night, I never came back. Near the end of the summer, I was at a Dunkin' Donuts. It was early in the morning, so I was pretty groggy, until I saw him. The dancing man, the janitor. It looked exactly like him. At first, I thought my mind was just playing tricks on me, but the longer I looked, the more convinced I became. Then he saw me and smiled. He hurried out of the store and I followed him, but one of his buddies was parked curbside at the exit. He rushed in there and sped away before I could get to him, but what I saw horrified me more than anything else. The license plate of the car they were driving was the same as Johnny's. I knew it because he had a unique plate, 4PAC207. It was the same car I had seen a month before. Then it clicked. That was Johnny's car. They got a paint job, so I didn't notice back then, but I should have. I still beat myself up because of it. I never saw him again, or the car. Nowadays, it's all just a memory, one that I wish I could forget. Rest in peace, Johnny.
Dang, man. Dang. Dang. They killed Johnny, man. Dang. Know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, that right there would have been tough for me. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's tough. That's tough. But I had to do something, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang. I gotta pounce on them. I gotta do something. Know what I mean? Hold a gun to their face or something. Where's Johnny? You know, I just could not imagine, like, it's like, man, bro, it just be hard, man, being a Christian sometimes when it comes to certain things, you feel me? Like, I could imagine that just happened to one of my partners, bro, you feel me? Like, knowing, like, dang, these the guys that killed my partners, bro, like, knowing that this such and such car, like, what? I just stand here and not do nothing? Oh, man, bro, it just be so hard, man. Dang, man, rest in peace, Johnny, though, man. R.I.P. Dang. That's a sad story right there. Killed that man, bro.
It was the summer of 2024, and my three buddies, Jake, Sam, and Marcus and I were desperate for a break from our internship at the Kennedy Space Center. We'd been buried in rocket data for weeks, but as star geeks, we craved a night under a pristine sky. We pored over light pollution maps and Google Maps, zeroing in on a remote clearing deep in Tate's Hell State Forest, a swampy, desolate stretch of Florida's panhandle. The name came from an old legend about Sebe Tate, a settler who vanished in the swamp in the 1800s, supposedly cursed. We brushed it off. Ghost stories were for kids. We just wanted stars.
Ghost stories just for kids, yeah. Junk real, bro. I mean, like I said, I hate when people talk about ghost. No such thing as ghost. I don't want you to think a ghost is like the little white. We all used to think as a kid, you know, ghosts, you know, like little in the little white blanket. Ooh. Not ghosts. You know, we should call it spirit stories. No such thing as ghosts, but it is a such thing as spirits. I'm telling you this right now. Demonic spirits, all type of spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? Heck yeah. You feel me? So, you know, like I said, my sister said she seen my dead grandma. My sister said she was smoking one day. I mean, just smoking. She was sitting at a table. No, I think she was smoking. She said she was smoking, sitting at a table. She looked up and she seen my dead grandma. She automatically started crying. One thing with my sister just don't talk like, my sister just don't, you know what I'm saying, like make up stories. You know what I mean? But I've heard a lot of stories where people say they seen their dead relatives. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it busy. So, hey, bro, it's not real, bro.
Our safe haven was an Airbnb, a cozy cabin near Apalachicola, about 30 miles from the forest's edge. After work,
now, Grandma, I don't want to see you though.
Into my Tesla Model Y and Marcus's Mustang, loaded with blankets, snacks, and a telescope. No camping gear since we'd been sleeping back at the cabin. The 7-hour drive from the Space Center was grueling, and we hit the Airbnb late, dropping our bags and grabbing a quick snack before heading back out again. The final stretch into Tate's Hell was brutal. Narrow dirt trails twisting through dense pines and murky wetlands, and the air thick with cicadas and the occasional splash of something in the water. With no cell service, we used walkie-talkies to stay connected between cars, with their crackles cutting through the dark. Around 2 a.m., we reached the clearing, tired and buzzing. The sky was unreal. The stars were blazing like they were close enough to grab. We spread out blankets, set up the telescope, and dove in. 15 minutes later, Sam's voice hissed over the walkie-talkie from the Mustang. He said,
"Yo, you see that? Headlights."
My gut twisted. We turned, and a faint glow crept along the trail we'd driven in on. Out here, 40 miles from the nearest town, at 2 a.m. in a massive forest, nobody's just passing by. Whoever was out there was trouble. Jake, in the Tesla with me, grabbed his walkie-talkie. "Flash them, see what they do." I flicked the Tesla's headlights. 3 sharp bursts. An old pickup truck, rusted and battered, stopped about 100 yards off. No honk or wave or anything. Then we saw them, the shadowy figures stepping out. 2 or 3, hard to tell in the glare. They just stood there staring, and that's when we heard faint voices, low and garbled, drifting through the swamp. Whispers we couldn't make out.
"This is messed up."
Marcus crackled over the radio. Sam sounded spooked.
"Those voices. Nobody's out here at 2 a.m. for anything good."
I swung my flashlight, but the beam didn't reach, catching only shadows. Those whispers kept going, soft and sinister, making my skin crawl. Jake tried to stay cool. "Maybe locals, but let's move," he said. We agreed over the walkie-talkies to find another spot, but we set a rule. If those lights showed up again, we were racing back to the Airbnb's safety. We turned off the main trail. Anyone following us was after us. We sped a mile down a side trail.
See, this is what I be trying to tell y'all. I be trying to tell y'all these real stories. One thing y'all make me mad when y'all be like, "Oh man, we want to hear real stories." This is real stories that he read. You know what I mean? He just paints the picture. You know what I mean? Try to make it as realistic as possible when it comes throughout the, telling the story. But people email him. They email Mr. Nightmare what truly happened to them. This is really 3 scary, true, remote places horror stories. These are not made up horror stories. These not no animation stories. These are real stories that happen to real people, as y'all see on the screen right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Another clearing and set up fast. Just blankets and nerves. 5 minutes in.
But you must be out your dang mind thinking we heard about the swamp. We heard about the curse, the swamp man. The man disappeared in the swamp in the 1800s. You must be out your dang mind if you think I'm finna go look at some dang stars when I just seen 3 shadowy figures. Stars not that important, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it hit the U-turn, got the freak up out of there immediately. Like, what sign do you need? You don't need no other sign than that, my boy. What the freak is we still looking at stars for when we just seen 3 shadowy figures whispering in sinister voices? What the freak is we doing? If that's not a warning, I don't know what it is. You feel me? Come on, gang.
Marcus,
talking about some stars?
His voice cut through the walkie-talkie.
I would have said, I would have been on the walkie-talkie saying this. F the stars, okay? I repeat, F the stars. I am finna hit a U-turn. I repeat, I am finna hit a U-turn. I repeat. And I mean, either you're come or you're dead, but I will not be looking at stars tonight. I repeat, I will not be looking at stars tonight. I repeat. I promise you that. Getting the freak out of there. It don't take too long for Jay to get the message. Okay, I got the message. You don't want us around here? Okay, let's go. Let's go. Time I go looking at some stars. Marcus and Jake would have been looking at stars by their dang self. You know what I mean, gang? F them stars. You know what I mean? They ain't that impressive. We can look at stars at the Airbnb. Let's go on the roof and look at the stars. What's so different from these stars? Stars everywhere. You know what I mean? F these stars. You feel me? They seem like it's some demonic stars. It seems like the stars is out here. Oh, it seems like whatever out here, you feel me, don't want us to look at these stars. We're gonna look at them stars at the house. Them seem like the safer stars.
Urgent.
They're back,
He said. My heart sank.
Hey, man.
Those same headlights sliced through the dark, much closer now.
I think it's time
Then
to...
came a gut punch, an engine rev, like they were doing it as a threat. Sam said, "Get us out now."
I think it's time to let
We
some
scrambled
gunshots
into the
off.
cars. Jake and I in the Tesla, Marcus and Sam in the Mustang. I floored it, with the Tesla jolting over roots and branches underneath scraping like claws. Those headlights stuck to us, high beams blinding in my rearview mirror. Jake was on the walkie-talkie saying, "Marcus, you good?" Marcus replied back,
barely, they're right there.
We were 40 miles from help, just 4 young, basically defenseless interns. At 2 a.m. in a place called Tate's Hell, you don't meet good people. I pushed the Tesla to
You're in a place called Tate's Hell?
a place called Tate's Hell, you don't meet good people. I pushed the Tesla to its limits with Marcus close in the Mustang. The trail veered in one direction, and for a second, as we turned, the headlights of the truck tailing us vanished. I prayed we'd lost them, but shortly after, they were back. Like they were toying with us, knowing we were trapped. We hit a fork, and I swerved left, hoping it led to the main road. The truck followed. Finally, after much more panic and stress, the dirt turned to pavement, and a faded highway sign appeared ahead. I glanced back, expecting those headlights, but they were gone. Marcus's Mustang pulled up beside us, and we stopped on the shoulder, panting, just staring into the dark. All we heard in the forest now was just crickets and the crackle of our walkie-talkies. The drive back to the Airbnb was dead silent. We stumbled into the cabin, locking the door, but even that safe haven felt unsafe after what we'd faced. Who were they? We considered some possibilities like poachers or druggies running something shady, or something tied to those voices in the old tales of Tate's Hell. At 2 a.m. in a place like that, nobody's out for a good time. The way they watched us, the way they chased us without even rushing, it wasn't a prank. It felt like they wanted us to be afraid. We never went back. We don't talk about it. Not at the Space Center, not anywhere. But when I'm driving those lonely Florida roads at night, I think just a little part of me has permanently become more hyper-aware.
I would have let off a couple of shots. You know what I'm saying? Just to give them a little warning shots in the air. I want shot at the car, but just some warning shots.
In December 2023,
because we got lots of
I
shots.
took a 3-week-long vacation to Japan. My family owns a hotel near the small mountain town of Kaga Onsen in the west of Japan.
Loaded, huh?
It was a large Japanese inn.
Family
also
owned
known
the
as
hotel.
Ryokan, built into the side of the hill next to the Daishoji River. The area surrounding the hotel was inhabited for at least 2 millennia, and it was considered a sacred place. My father had told me a long while back that when the hotel was being constructed, the builders had found a couple of old stone blocks and pillars at the site. Apparently, there was some sort of shrine that had been built there around the 9th century. The last time I stayed in that hotel was over 15 years ago, so I was kind of interested in reliving the experience of staying there. As well as that, I really like exploring, and remembering the story that my father told me, I decided to go and do some off-trail hiking in the forest below the hotel, hopefully finding any traces of the ancient ruins which my father mentioned. As soon as I arrived at the nearby city of Kanazawa, I got a car at the rental next to the train station and drove up to the hotel. It was snowing heavily, and traffic was terrible. The ride was supposed to take around an hour, but instead it took 2 hours. I arrived at the hotel around 8, and I let myself in. The hotel was basically vacant in December, and tourists don't usually go to this part of Japan in the winter. There was no staff at all in the hotel. I found myself being the only person in the hotel. The feeling was quite surreal, just being alone in such a building in the middle of nowhere.
You're the only one alone in there?
I grabbed one of the keys behind the counter, let myself into one of the suites, and slept there for the night. The next day, I went into the forest below the hotel. The snow was quite deep, up to my
that right there goes and tell me that hotel is demonic. You're the only one in that big hotel. That hotel is demonic. I said demonic. Demonic, excuse me. Gots to look at the reviews. Because there's no way in heck you're the only one in this big old hotel. You're the only one here? What?
Building in the middle of nowhere.
Nobody else in the room.
Grabbed one of the keys behind the counter, let myself into one of the suites, and slept there for the night. The next day, I went into the forest below the hotel. The snow was quite deep, up to my ankles, and trudging down rough terrain with boots was absolute hell. I must have walked far enough into the forest to lose my sense of direction. I checked my phone, but there was no signal at all. I had been walking for around an hour and didn't know where I was.
You lost in the forest.
I was surrounded by trees on all sides, and directly in front of me was a large hill.
You know where you going.
I thought it would be good if I climbed to the summit so I could get a better vantage point to possibly locate any form of civilization. The ascent was very tough, the sides of the hill being quite steep and rocky. However, off to the left, I noticed what looked like the remnants of a path. I slowly traversed my way towards the path. It was a dirt path that wound its way up towards the summit of the hill.
So you just walking and you don't even know where you're walking to? You're in unfamiliar territory. You don't even know where the heck you're going, bro. Just walking. You know what I'm saying? You know, like talking about paths leading up to the hill, towards the summit of the hill, whatever. You don't even know where you walking to, buddy. Just walking. You know, that's a dangerous thing to do in the forest.
The path was slightly overgrown with dead branches blocking the way up, but soon enough, I managed to reach my way to the top. However, I noticed that soon enough, the path was gone. It just ended. I looked around the hill and noticed a small cavity in the hillside above the path, hidden in the vegetation, maybe 5 meters away from the path. I climbed up and found myself standing in front of the entrance to a small cave. A bit of mud had washed into the cave, but the opening was large enough for me to fit my body through.
You're going inside of
I had
a
a
cave?
small flashlight on me, and I shone it into the opening.
What is you doing?
I could see a small alcove in front of me, with another small opening to the left. As I entered the cave, a certain smell hit me. I don't know how to explain it, but the best way to describe it is that it smelled like an animal at the zoo. The alcove in front of me was bare, except for a large rectangular block of stone placed right in the middle. As I walked deeper into the cave, I found myself in a large stone chamber. There were 2 other side tunnels that ran from this chamber, but I didn't explore them.
Oh, you're
There was
exploring?
yet another rectangular stone block, but this time it was on the far side of the chamber and looked to be hollow. I got up close to the block, and to my utter shock, there looked to be human bones inside the block. Surrounding the bones was a long piece of steel and a bunch of old bronze coins, the ones with a square hole in the center. I just stood there in a mix of utter shock and disbelief. I reached down and picked up one of the coins. I don't know why I did it, just instinct, I guess. The coin was old and corroded, but some characteristics were visible on it. Before I could examine it closely, I heard a loud crash come from deep within one of the side tunnels. I quickly pointed my flashlight towards the origin of the sound. The animalistic scent got stronger, making the air feel toxic. I, for some reason, grabbed the long piece of steel resting amongst the bones and held it in front of me with one hand as a weapon. The light of my flashlight made it easier for me to see that the long piece of steel looked to be the remnants of a long blade. I started backing away towards the entrance. The smell was different this time. I could smell smoke under that overwhelming stench. I could hear a rhythmic thumping originating from deep within the tunnel. It sounded like someone banging on a drum. That's the point where I lost it. I ran out of the cave, back out towards the opening. As I ran out, I swear that I felt the entire cave vibrate and shake. I jumped out of the entrance onto the slope below and tumbled onto the snowy ground. I had dropped the blade on the snowy ground, but I didn't care to pick it up. I kept on running and running down the slope, crashing through dead twigs and branches. I ran and ran until I heard the sound of a car driving past in the distance. I soon found myself on the side of the road. I let out a sigh of relief as I collapsed by the side of the road. I managed to flag down a passing car. The driver was first reluctant to let me in, but after seeing how distressed I was, he did. Through some conversation with the driver, I found out that I was quite far from the hotel, around 4 miles.
4 miles.
Soon enough, I arrived back at the hotel. I went back to my room, packed up everything, and got in my car. I didn't feel safe being the only person in the hotel. I drove back to Kanazawa, where I stayed for the night. This story has a follow-up though. When the hotel was up and running in February, I got a text from my father. He told me that someone had broken into the hotel through one of the first floor windows. Surprisingly, nothing was damaged or stolen, except for the front door of my room, which was smashed wide open with some sort of blunt metal objects.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know if this is connected to my experience, but I am definitely not going to be staying at that hotel, ever.
This man followed you, gang. And followed you to the hotel. You know what I mean? Crazy. It probably was some demonic, you know what I'm saying? It probably was some witchcraft or something. Bones in a box. You know what I'm saying? With some coins over it. And you said that you felt the cave vibrate. It seemed like some demonic stuff going on, you feel me? But anyways, man, you know, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the bell like on the video, man. Tell me how I feel about this in the comment section down below. I don't know why I say that, because I'm like, bro, I don't know. I guess I'm a creature of habit. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? But make sure y'all like the video, man. Subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all for joining the video.